It's time for our special episode of the Daily Stand Up Podcast. And what I can tell you is it all started with a t shirt. So let me explain. So I was on an airplane and a guy walked by and he had a t shirt on. And he was a handsome guy. Hey, I'm comfortable in my own skin saying that, right? And he had a shirt on and his shirt said, "Hey, don't call me out. It's not a dad bod. It's a father figure." And I got a kick out of that. But then I realized that was probably a Father's Day gift for this guy. So it made me think to myself, where are guys today? And as June is also Men's Mental Health Month, I didn't know many people knew that or not. I thought it'd be appropriate to talk a little bit about Father's Day and about men's mental health and about what I see and about myself being a father and about my dad. So there's just lots of stuff I wanted to talk about. So what I can tell you is there's a huge drive on TikTok right now for guys helping guys, dudes helping dudes, right? Dads helping dads, dads supporting dads, dudes supporting dudes. That's what it is. And there's hashtags everywhere on it. And at first, I didn't realize what it was. And one of the guys on there started talking about men's mental health. And I just thought to myself, I said, how powerful is that, right? I think that sometimes we don't take into consideration that just like guys have, or just like women have mental health issues, children have mental health issues, guys break down sometimes too. And it was just so important for me to hear that message of consistency, that message of hope. And it was geared straight towards guys. And I thought that was probably the coolest thing on the planet, right? So for me, when I went in, I made a post about it. And I said, I want to support other dads. I want to support other dudes. I want to support people who want to be more than just a donor that brings a child into the world, right? I wanted to support people who understand what it's like to really be a father. And somebody I know, a very close friend of mine, said, a father is a lot like a gatherer. And I thought about that for a few minutes, and I don't know that I could pull it all together. So I sat down and really dedicated some time to it. And I decided I'd write a tribute, just a short tribute to gatherers. And I want to talk about what I perceive to be a gatherer, and then I want to talk about my dad for a moment. So here we go. So today, we're here, day after Father's Day, not just to honor fathers, but to honor gatherers. Gatherers are the ones who pull us close when life pushes hard. I don't know about you, but I've definitely been in those times where life's pushed hard against me. The steady hand that builds, the open arms that welcome, the watchful hearts that guide. They may not always speak the loudest, but their presence echoes in every laugh around a dinner table, every lesson that's passed on in silence. To those who lead with kindness, protect with strength, and love without limits, thank you for being a gatherer. Thank you for lifting us and showing us what it means to truly be there, always there. So, this Father's Day, I wanted to think more about my dad. Now, granted, my dad wasn't there for my entire life. My dad wasn't there for much of my growing up. And that wasn't by his choice or by my choice, but it's just the way things fell out. So, with that being the case, I had to learn a lot about my dad way later in life. And what I can tell you is I'm grateful. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm grateful that I did. Because I don't know in my immature state that I would have thought he was as cool as I did when I met him again later when I was 21, right? So it's one of those things where you have to look for the silver lining in these things. But one of the things I can tell you about my dad is, I never looked at him and said he was perfect at anything. I never looked at him and said, "Oh, you were the perfect husband or the perfect dad or the perfect example, or you did everything perfect in your life." And you know what? Those things not being perfect are actually what made him perfect. It taught me to approach things with humility, and it taught me to always be willing to learn. It taught me that no matter how much I knew about something, that there was always something more to learn. He taught me how to love with a gentle heart, but also rule with a firm hand. And what I can tell you is, although I didn't have my father for many of my influential growing up years, what I can tell you is the impact that he's had on me since that time is huge. He has been a leading example to me of what light and love is. And when I say that, I'm not saying it lightly. he has a way with people to draw you in and to help you understand things that are complicated. Now I know where I got it from, right? But he is just such a warm, kind person. There's never a hurtful thing that he intends to say to you. And he always tries to look out for the best way to uplift others. And he always looks out for the best way to make any occasion special. And I think my one big takeaway from him is the worst day you could ever have fishing is better than any other good day that you could have anywhere else. And his other mantra, which, I guess I could follow with root beer. He says, if there's everything wrong in your life, it's nothing that a beer can't solve. And what he was trying to say is you should always leave room for beer with a friend or root beer with a friend. You want to make sure that you always leave room for an open possibility, that you always leave a window open, that you always leave a light on, that you're always leaving a phone open. And especially now that I've become a father to four amazing children, what I can tell you is even though I don't hear from my children as much as I'd like, and even though sometimes I wish that we were more connected, what I can tell you is the times that I do hear from them, I appreciate and I praise those times, because as you grow older, you learn that, life is fragile. And there's a period where, you might feel like, I got this, I don't need to lean in on my dad or my mom for anything or for everything. And then later you realize that your mom and dad have a limited time box in it. You need to start spending time with them. So it's one of those things where too many people don't realize that limitation until it's too late. And they have a very limited amount of time to spend, and it's not during their best years. So I guess what I'm trying to say is on this post Father's Day, so we're one day past Father's Day, I had an opportunity to speak to my dad, and I had an opportunity to really think about all the things that he's done and all the appreciation that I owed. But more importantly, I thought about myself as a father and what I could do to make life better. And now, especially with the name of my company, I'm getting all teared up now with the name of my company being AgileDad. When I named this company, I wanted people to know that it's not just a one and done. It's not just, here's a class, here's a certificate, good luck, go on your way. That I wanted to be there to walk with you through the valley. I wanted to hold your hands. I wanted to meet you where you are. I wanted to help you achieve great things. And one of the goals of AgileDad is to use the 5 values of Scrum: focus, openness, respect, commitment, and courage, to help people recognize who they are and how they can maximize their potential so that they could be the best they could be, and to meet them right where they are and take them there. And what I can tell you is whether you're building a software product or project, or whether you're just building teams, or whether you're trying to build team morale, it doesn't matter what you're trying to do. What I've discovered is that the more as a company we extend ourselves to others, the more that I give freely of what I know, the more busy I become with paid engagements. So for me, my challenge for you is to pay it father. Pay it father. How about pay it forward? Just like your father would. That's where I was going with this. And why I don't have enough money to buy everyone a t-shirt that says it's not a dad bod, it's a father figure. Even if you don't know who your father is, or you don't have a father per se, I want you to identify who that father figure is in your life, who it is that helped guide you to do the things that you need to do. And I want you to make sure you show them a debt of gratitude. Because I think that if we start treating the world more like a father would, if we start looking out for each other, and if we start really uplifting each other when we can, but keeping our conviction strong, what we'll find is that we can make a difference in the world. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a topic you want to discuss, learn more at AgileDad.com. I'd love to hear from you. Love you, Dad. And as always, stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.